Good morning. Happy Monday. Just checking that everything's working here. If you can't hear me, let me know. It looks like my audio not plugged in. Got it. And we'll start on our backs today. So just go ahead and put something down, blanket or whatever you're using. I'll just give everyone a second to get situated and make sure everyone's here. Right. And just come to your back. And once you're here, just lie flat, or you have an option of putting the soles of the feet together, or just taking those feet to the edge of the mat, let those knees fall into each other. Just wherever you find the most comfortable, and then once you're there, take a big breath into that belly. And exhale, release, melt down to the mat. Close the eyes. The next inhalation, filling up the belly and filling up the lungs. And exhale from the lungs, empty the chest, then empty the belly, drawing that navel in. Just continue that wave, that cycle of breath, filling up the belly all the way. Expand the ribcage, expand the insides of your chest, of the lungs. And then we're exhaling from the top of our head, from the top of our chest down to the bottom of our tailbone. There's a few more cycles of breath here, really letting that breath take you into the present moment. Allowing you to feel a sense of calm. Your next exhalation, just releasing, letting go of everything else on your mind, any to-do lists, worries. Just letting that whole body sink into the mat a few more times. And on the next inhalation, gently open your eyes. If your knees are bent, go ahead and straighten them. And we're going to go ahead and stretch up all the way through our fingertips. Sorry, I didn't realize how cold it was. Stretch up through your fingertips above your head. Point those toes like a ballerina. And flex the feet. Point one more time. Release. Walk those heels over to the right side of the mat. Bring that left heel over to meet that right. Cross over. Just bring them right together. Scooch the shoulders over. I'm going to just stretch to that left side of the mat. So left side of the body. So opening up to the joints. All the way from the ankle to the fingertips. keep breathing into that left side of the body. And one more breath here. And we'll release. Just move everything back to center. And then slowly taking those ankles over to the left side of the mat. And cross over. Reaching over to the left through those right fingertips. Get a nice grab this wrist with your left hand and pull it over. Just bring those hands together. And then just reach through those fingertips. Opening through that right side of the body, breathe into any tight areas. Soften your gaze towards the ceiling. Just one more breath here, just softening the armpits, the hip, just above the hip. Release back to center. And bend those knees and just rock those right and left. And take them a little bit, the feet are a little bit wider than your hips, or right hip width, or just a little bit wider, just kind of right around where your hips go down. And just start to kind of just move those from right to left. We're just kind of stretching out the back, stretching out the sides, kind of slowly or as quickly, whatever feels the best here to kind of shake out, stretch out, or lower back. We're also kind of stretching the front of that hip right here. And then just let those knees just fall to the right and stay. You can bring those knees together if you like, or just keep one behind. Bring those arms out to the side and then take your gaze to the opposite direction if you like, or just to the ceiling. Just doing a gentle spinal stretch. You can always move those hips further in towards the center. Just adjust any way you find necessary to get into a kind of gentle spinal twist right here. And really gently bring up those legs. We're going to just adjust so we can let those knees drop over to the other side of the body. Once we're there, just getting comfortable, adjust and then release into that stretch. Gazing up towards the ceiling or opposite direction. Adjusting those hips and knees. And bring those knees back to center, feet down. We're going to inhale that right leg up into the air. Just press to that right heel. Lengthen through the back of the calf, the hamstring. You can grab here or grab here. Keep that left knee pointed towards the ceiling. And just pressing through that heel. Maybe a little bit of a bend. Maybe it's straighter. Just feeling that length in the leg. And pull that knee down and up towards the chin. And release, bring that heel to the left knee. Press that knee away from the body. And then we're also letting those lower rib cage feel heavy. That low back is attached to the mat. So almost like a gentle tucking of the tailbone has to happen here. And softly taking that awareness back to that breath. Follow breath. Nice, deep, even breaths. Softening through the face, letting the tongue be loose in the mouth. And bring that right foot to meet that left foot. Let that fall out to the side. And we'll just take that left leg along or reach up just for a breath or two in that tree pose, in the tree position. And release, knee back up. And then we're going to bring that left leg up into the air, pressing through that left heel. And grab the outsides of the leg, back of the hamstring, we're pressing through the heel. Letting that lower rib cage be heavy, tiny tuck of the tailbone, pressing that low back into the mat. And pull that knee down and up. Keep that right knee pointed to the ceiling, softening to that hip flexor, front of that left hip. And then taking that ankle to the knee, press that left knee away, still pressing that low back into the mat. Keep this left foot flexed. And release, bring this left foot down. Left knee just falls out to the side. And then stretching through the right heel, we're gonna reach up, just a breath or two here. In that tree pose on the mat, just stay there for a breath. Really make the body long. Just twisting the light, kind of dark in here. And then from here, bringing that left knee up, right foot comes to meet the left foot. Grab those knees towards the chest and we'll just roll from side to side. Give that back massage. Take those knees and then counterclockwise, circle, and then opposite direction. And pull those knees up to the ceiling. Let them drop away and drop away from each other, softening through those hip flexors and pulling those up. Those knees are both taking their own circular paths. Just really feel that softening through the hips. And then pulling those knees in. Letting that low back press into the mat some more time. Before we cross our ankles, grab the backs of our hamstrings, and then just kind of back and forth, coming up to a seated position. You can put down your mat, adjust anything you need to adjust. Just take an extra cushion here, blanket. And come to a seated position. Rocking from side to side. Lengthening, reaching up through that crown of the head. The imaginary string just pulls out at the top of your head. Drawing that navel in. And then exhale, come forward at the hips, hinge at the hips, walk those hands forward. Just finding that spot where you're the most comfortable. And once you're there, just taking that nose towards the floor, lengthening through the back of the neck, letting those hips melt down into the mat. Breathing into the belly, into the tight areas. Maybe just spider crawl those fingers a little bit further away from your body. And walk those hands over to the right, reach into those left fingertips, pulling back through that left hip. Just imagine creating length from the hip to the fingertips. Let the hips feel heavy, attached to the mat or the blanket. And back to center. Walk those over to the other side, reach into those right fingertips, pull back through that right hip. And back to center. Just one more breath here. Just bring that nose towards the floor. Then walking those hands back up. And bring those hands kind of out to the sides and back a little bit. We're just going to come back and lean back. Take that gaze over that right shoulder. And then over that left. And back to center. Inhale up, inhale up those arms. Press those hands together, bring them to heart center. Inhale up again. And just reaching through those fingertips. Pull down those elbows, feel that stretch in the front of the shoulders. Inhale up. And then exhale, bring that right hand down. Reach over with that left arm. All the way through the fingertips. Feeling that stretch from the hip. All the way to the fingertips again. And then inhale up, reach. Exhale, other side. Reaching, opening to that right side. And inhale up. Exhale, right side again. Pull that thumb back, spin open. And then exhale, bring that left hand to that right knee. Right hand comes behind. Inhale through the crown. Exhale, take that gaze towards the back of the room. Lift the crown of the head, inhale, creating space in between those vertebrae. The exhalation is sticking that nose a tiny bit closer towards the back of the room. Drawing that navel in. And release, unwind. We're gonna come down on that left hand, reach over, pull that thumb back towards the back of the room, open up, gaze up towards the ceiling. And bring that hand down, left hand comes behind. Lift through the crown of the head. Exhale, take that gaze towards the back. And release, slowly unwind. Bring your hands to your knees. Just gonna exhale, bring that chin down towards that chest. Soften through the back of the neck. Inhale up. Exhale, take that right ear down to that right shoulder. Reach out through those fingertips, left fingertips. And inhale up. Exhale, left shoulder comes, ear comes towards the left shoulder. And to reach out to the right with the right fingertips. And inhale up. Chin comes down to the chest again. We'll take a few really slow, careful neck rolls. Drawing those circles with the nose. Just slowly. I'm feeling that stretch through every part of the neck. No pinching or pain or discomfort should occur. And switch directions. You can close your eyes while you're doing this. That makes you like a little less dizzy. And let's make those circles smaller. And come back to center, neutral position. And reach out with those arms and give yourself a hug. Pull those shoulders down. Breath here. And reaching out. Other arm comes on top, pull that down. And whichever arm is on top, just pull that across your body. Just hook that with your other arm. And release, we'll just switch arms. And release. From here, just roll the shoulders back a few times and forward. And then we'll slowly come to a tabletop position. And spread those fingers. Press down through the tops of the feet. Those knees are under those hip points. And we're going to inhale, just press that belly down. Open up this chest to the front of the room, pulling those shoulder blades back for a cow. And exhale, tuck the tailbone, bring that chin in towards the chest, rounding the shoulders on the back. Cat pose. Inhale, back to cow. Press that belly button down. Exhale, back to cat. And set your own pace with your own breath. Take a few more rounds with that cat and cow. Just warming up the spine a little more, waking up all the muscles. Spread the fingers out. And slowly coming back to a neutral position. Inhale. I'm going to exhale and press to that right heel. Soften into that calf muscle, and then we're going to lift using that hamstring, and then kind of level off those hips. So add that left arm if you like. You don't have to stay here. Otherwise, we're like pulling up the navel. And some more easy breath here. And release, come down. We're just going to come forward, back and forward a couple times. Just feeling that length in the spine, kind of giving those wrists a stretch. So, spreading out those fingers back and forth. Those hips ease back. And feeling a gentle stretch in the front of your wrists. And then come back to a neutral position. Inhale, and then exhale, press through that left heel, soften through that calf muscles. Take that awareness to the inner thigh. We're going to lift. Pulling up through the navel. Stay here at that right arm. Just taking a few rounds of breath here. Strengthening. Challenging those back muscles, those core muscles. And release. Bring those knees wide. Sink those hips back. Reach forward. Let the forward come down to the mat. Just let go for a breath or two. And gently come back up. And then we're just going to slide that right arm underneath that left arm. Bring that right shoulder down. Reach forward. Let that shoulder melts down into the mat. Breathe into the belly. Nice deep, even breaths, letting that shoulder sink and relax. And then go ahead and bend that left arm. You're gonna press up, bring that right arm forward, and then let that left arm thread the needle underneath that right arm. Let that shoulder relax and sink down. All the shoulders, all the muscles in the shoulder just melt and relax and release. And bend that right arm. You press up. And then from here, you're going to come onto our belly. If you need to move anything out of the way, go ahead. I'm just going to come lay flat on our belly. Bring those hands, those palms underneath the shoulders. Pressing it down through the legs, tops of the legs, tops of the feet. Pressing through the palms, and then on the next inhalation, just gently bring that chest up off the mat. So not pressing so much through your palms. Actually, the movement is really coming from muscles in your back. So you're really pressing those hip points, engaging those glutes so that everything's stabilized here. So just skipping if there's any pain whatsoever. And then lifting. And release. Bring that right cheek on top of those hands. Bend those knees, rock them back and forth. Shake out that lower back. Give a massage to the front of those quads, to the front of the hips. And drop those legs, reach those arms out. Come to Sphinx pose, so staying here for a more gentle pose, so here, or working those elbows to right underneath the shoulders and pressing through the palms, still engaging those glutes. There should be no discomfort in the lower back. Pressing down to the pubic bone, the hip points, the tops of the legs, the elbows. And just feel here for another breath or two. And release. Bring those hands underneath the face and then bring that left cheek down to the on top of the hands. Release, relax. Bend those knees. You window wash those feet from side to side. Just kind of feeling that massage on the fronts of your legs, tops of your legs. Stretching the lower back. And drop the legs, move those hands underneath the shoulders, and go ahead and press up. And come to that tabletop, then tuck those toes, spread out those fingers, and we're gonna go ahead and straighten those legs, come into downward facing dog, start to pedal out the feet. Press those heels towards the mat. Breathe into the belly. And then we'll walk those feet up to the hands. Into ragdoll, grab opposite elbows. Let that head just hang, neck be soft. So you shake your head no and yes. And drop the hands, stay in that forward fold for a breath or two. Inhale, slide those hands up, gaze forward. And exhale, we're going to bring those hands back down and just step back with that left foot and come into a lunge. And you're just adjusting as you come down. Lifting up through that back, hit a hamstring. Softly bring that knee down. Plant that left hand. Inhale, gentle twist. Exhale, hand comes back down. Let those hips fall forward, soften forward. And inhale. Come up, bring those hands to the hips. And stay here, or if you feel stable enough, pulling that navel in, we're gonna reach up through that left arm and just come on over, keeping that right hand on the right hip. So really having to engage your core. And release. We're gonna inhale up through that right arm, and then just try the other side. Just notice how much you have to really engage through those core muscles to stay feeling stable here. And release, giving the hands to the top of that knee. Those hips fall forward, we're pulling back through that right hip, lengthening, softening through the front of this left hip. And release, with those hands down to the other side of the foot. And then we'll slowly start to straighten that front leg. Adjust for a runner stretch. Right toes up to the ceiling. And then keeping that left hip over that left knee. Soften through the back of the right knee. Nice even breaths into the belly. And release. Bring those hips forward. And heel to that foot out, tuck to the edge. Bring those hands to the inside of the foot for lizard. Stay here or walk your hands out towards at an angle if you like. Bring that forehead down. And go ahead, heel to that foot back to center. And tuck the toes. And from here, we're going to come into a crescent pose. So just keeping that back heel up off the mat, and then we're really strong through this front leg. And we're really pulling down through that core and coming here or here, pulling the shoulders away from the ears, strong through the legs. And release and straighten through both legs. Bring those toes to the edge of the mat. And hands to your hips. Inhale, exhale, fold forward, bring those hands down. Bring those feet a little bit further apart or closer together. And then take your nose down towards the floor. We're pressing through those feet, backing up those knees into the up towards this hip socket, almost pulling that femur in towards the hip socket. You can grab ankles if you want to pull that forehead down for a deeper stretch, so just stay here. And then from here, we're just gonna walk our hands over to the left, so we come end up in a lunge with our left foot in front this time. Lifting through that right hamstring, strong through those legs. And softly bring that knee down. Plant that right hand. Talk today, Monday, of course. Inhale, gentle twist up towards the ceiling. And exhale back down. And we're going to inhale up, bring those hands to the knees, hips. Inhale up to that right arm and then just reach over, engage that core. Pressing through the top of that right foot. And stable. And then release. Stay here, try out the other side. Just tightening up everything a little bit more. It's a little bit more difficult on this side. And release. Bring those hands down. Tuck the knee for just a breath. And then down to either side of the foot. Start to slowly straighten that front leg. Just adjust wherever you need to get into that runner stretch. Left toes coming up towards the ceiling. Pulling our heart towards the foot. And just softening to the back of that left knee. And let those hips come forward. Heel to the foot out to the edge. Come into that lizard pose. Bring those hands out at an angle if you like. And that forehead down towards the floor. So a little deeper stretch here. Just feel free to stay right here. And try to bring that foot out at an angle over here if you like. And go ahead and heel toe that foot back to center. I'm going to tuck the toes of the back foot. Just lengthen through that leg. Lift up through that back hamstring. Strong and through the core. Then we're going to lift coming into that crescent on the other side. So we can reach up here. Put the hands on the hips. Really strong through the legs. This front leg can be all the way 90-degree angles. Become a little bit less, more of an angle than the 90 degrees, just not less. Lifting. One more breath. And release. Now hands down, knee down. Going to inhale up, bring those knees together. Thumbs come right over those hips and the back. Take those elbows back. We're pressing to the top of the feet. And just taking that gaze, just kind of up, if that feels okay on your low back. Maybe up close to the ceiling. And release. And then just bring those feet off to the side, come to a seated position, bring those legs out in front. Bring those hands out to the sides. Pressing through those heels. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, come forward. Grab the shins, ankles, the feet. Nose comes down towards the knees. And just settle into that stretch. Follow the breath. Soften the tight areas. Pull that navel in towards that spine and see if your nose can come a little closer to the shins or the knees. And release. Slowly come up and bring the palms of the soles of the feet together. Wrap your hands around your feet. Gently inhale, lengthen. And then come forward, bring that nose down towards the feet, towards the floor. Pressing those knees away from the body. Nice Baddha Konasana. Settling into that stretch, into the flow of your breath. And release. Gently come up. We'll straighten that right leg. Bring that left foot in. Turn towards that. Lengthen the leg and just slide those hands down. Take that nose down towards the knee. And pressing through the ankle, through the heel. Drawing that navel in still. And breathe. And release. Gently come up. We'll just switch legs. Turn towards that left leg. Slide those hands down. Take that nose down towards the shin or the knee. Press down through that right knee. Draw that navel in. Just a few more breaths here. And release straight through that right leg. Press those hips forward. And those hands out in front. Just walk those forward. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Nose comes down to the floor. Active through the legs. Still pressing through the heels. Draw that navel and see if you can spider crawl those fingers a little bit further forward. And walk those hands back in. Bring those legs together. Backs of those hamstrings want to roll back. Roll up to top of the hands and back. And grab the knees, roll from side to side. Take some circles if that feels good. Just whatever massages your back. And those arms up to a T. Drop those knees to the right side of the body. Taking that twist in whatever version feels the best for you. Eyes up or over to the opposite side. Legs stretched, knees together. Just release into that spinal twist. And bring those knees in. I'm going to drop to the other side. You can keep those arms in a T or cactus them. Just releasing down to the other side of the twist. And pull those knees back into the chest. Give them a hug. And just send those legs long and comfortable for Shavasana. Open those palms up to the ceiling. Let those feet flop out to the sides. Take a big breath into the belly. Gently close your eyes, sink down, follow the breath. Watch the inhalation and exhalation. Starting to breathe in relaxation. Starting to release every muscle into the mat on the exhalation. Soften through the face. The muscles around the eyes release. The cheeks and the jaws soften. Tongue is loose in your mouth. Allow your shoulders to melt down into the mat. Down through your arms, biceps, triceps, forearms, hands, fingertips. Arms widen and soften. And for that relaxation, travel down your back, your low back, your hips, glutes, hamstrings, all melt and widen and soften. Quads feel heavy, calves release, ankles, the feet, the toes all soften. Everything melts down into the mat. And just continue to follow the breath. Breathing in relaxation. And the exhalation is release you into that pose. Just a little more, a little deeper into the mat. And slowly start to bring your awareness back to your body. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rock your head from side to side. Bend your knees and slowly roll over onto the right side of your body. And press ourselves up to a seated position. Bring our hands to heart center. On the next inhalation, gently open the eyes and blink a few times. Namaste. Well, thank you so much for joining this morning. In case I forgot to say, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And it's already the last day of November, which is, I say it probably every month, it's hard to believe, but so if you're interested in continuing into December, just let me know. Also, I'll put some more videos up on YouTube today, and I hope to see everyone on Wednesday. Just get in touch if you have any questions or requests. So have a great rest of your day.